What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Gio and this is
Gio's World.
Okay, so today's video, I'm going to be painting and talking to you guys a little bit. I don't really have much to talk about, but I just wanted to talk to you guys, so why not? And I also need to get this painting that I've been working on for way too long. I don't even know how long. Probably like a year. And okay, I haven't been like working on it for a year. It's just like I started it a year ago and then like I pushed it to the side and then did some other paintings and now I'm coming back to it. So let me show you guys what it looks like already. This is it. I had a person that I was interested in a year ago and she loved vinyls, like records. And I was painting this for her and you know, that didn't go nowhere. So I just put it to the side. So this is like, just kind of inspired by her, but this is supposed to be her hair, like made up of records or 45s, specifically a 45 like that, like a little small one. This is Ray Charles. So yeah, I put like the 45 on there. I used it as a template for her hair, kind of like an afro, you know, going around. And yeah, so it's about time I finished it. So yeah, come along with me. Okay, here's my little setup. Got my, what do you call this thing? Easel, to hold the painting in place. And got my water for my paintbrushes, got my paint. Don't mind my little palette, it's crazy, I know. I'm gonna take this off because it's hot, I'm getting hot. And I will cry if I get paint on this. So, take it off. All right, let's get it cracking. I'm trying to show y'all as much as possible while also still being able to see myself. I'm taking my glasses off. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about my childhood. You know, what it was like growing up in the church as a queer, trans, closeted individual. So yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit more into detail about that. Pull my sleeves up a little bit. All right. This is my favorite paintbrush. I feel like every artist has like a favorite paint and a favorite paintbrush. Like, look at it, you can tell he's been through it. Anyway, I grew up in the Pentecostal church. I said that last video, but just for those who didn't watch it, if you didn't watch it, stop this video, go watch that one, and then come back. But yeah, I grew up in the Pentecostal church. My father was a deacon in the church, and he was also, when I was really little, he was an usher, like head of the usher board. So he was like very important in the church, and my mother, she sang in the choir. So we were in church like all the time. Every Sunday, we didn't miss a Sunday for sure. Wednesday, Tuesdays sometimes too, they would do choir rehearsal. So we went with my mom, obviously. And my mom was also a part of like a miming group, you know, those people that that wear white gloves and do all that. She was a part of that too. So church was like our everyday life. We didn't know anything outside of church. And not to mention my godparents. My home church had two churches, like the main temple, and then there was another temple. And my godparents were pastor and first lady of that second temple. So anytime that we weren't with my parents, we were with my godparents, and they were obviously in the church. So we were helping out, cleaning up the church, doing stuff like that. It was a lot, child. It was a lot. So yeah, like I've said before, I always knew there was something different about me when I was a kid. I knew I had an attraction to women, girls. People always like assume that queer kids are influenced by, like, I don't know if, you know, people think like we have queer people around us that influence us, or like television or whatever influences us. I had none of that. If there were any queer people in my life, they were closeted and I did not know it. Was not influenced or anything like that. And as far as like media goes, like entertainment, like television and music and stuff like that, no. My household, it was very strict. We weren't even allowed to watch Disney. So anytime that we watched a Disney Channel, we were at my grandparents' house, and we watched it with them. But I remember my parents were like, you know how like back in the day you could like block a certain channel. Disney Channel was blocked at our house. Our parents were like, no, not having it. I remember everybody was crazy about Harry Potter, and I had no idea why because I wasn't allowed to watch it. I remember I was in summer camp, and the movie that we went to go see, because they would take you to the movies and stuff sometimes as one of the activities to do. One of the movies we went to see was Harry Potter, which is, now that I think about it, it's really strange because the summer camp that I went to was a Christian summer camp. But anyway, one of the movies was Harry Potter, and me and my sister had to go to another movie. It was pretty sad because all the kids was watching Harry Potter, and it was like me, my sister, and maybe like 2 or 3 other kids whose parents were like, yeah, no, y'all not watching Harry Potter. So one of the instructors had to take us to another movie. Anyway, yeah, so I knew from like maybe 5, however old you are, when you start like expressing your attraction or romantic desires or just liking, whatever you want to call it, somebody, like having a crush, which I'm assuming that's probably like age 5, age 6 for everybody, maybe older or younger for some people, but for me it was around like 5 or 6. And I just remember like all the little boys liking me, and I was like, I don't know if I like y'all. I like y'all as friends. Like growing up, I had a lot of male friends. Like I rarely hung out with girls. Probably like not until middle school. Well, no, even middle school, I had like a mixed kind of friend group, boys and girls. But mainly it was boys because I don't know. I gravitated more towards them. But yeah, I just remember like not being attracted to boys. Now it's not like I didn't have any boyfriends. I did date, but I really wouldn't even call that dating. Like, it was just one of those things where you say this is your boyfriend and y'all like maybe hold hands in the hallway and like hang out together at recess kind of thing, but it was never like a real relationship. Even like when I was in high school, I didn't date any boys. Well, I had one boyfriend, but again, it was like we talked on the phone, and they were like, he was like obviously trying to do more, but I was like, this is all you're gonna get. Funny story. When I came out, I can laugh at it now, but at the time it was pretty traumatic. When I came out as lesbian, I accidentally came out to the entire track team. I was in 11th grade and I was a track manager. One of my friends, he asked me, he was like, hey, I'm not gonna dead name myself, but he said my name. And I just kind of looked over and he was like, are you gay? And I didn't see, okay? Mind you, I had my sunglasses on, we were outside, and he was kind of like standing like in front of me and I couldn't see what was behind him. Little did I know the entire track team was behind him. But this was a friend of mine. We've been friends since like elementary school, so I felt comfortable telling him. And I was already out to like my close friends, and like some other people knew, but not a lot of people knew. So I felt comfortable telling him. I didn't really care. And so when he asked, I was like, yeah. And he was like, wait, what? You are? And I was like, wait, why are you asking? And he was like, I was about to tell you a joke. I was about to say a joke. And I can't even remember what the joke was. And I was like, well, I mean, I am. And as soon as I said I am, I like took my glasses off and I saw the entire track team behind him, and they were like looking at me like, what? It was the entire track team. Two of the other managers were there too. And I remember I was only going with my sister, and I was like, I just came out to the whole team. And she was like, what? I was like, it was an accident. I didn't know. And like 4 or 5 of the guys, like, okay, prior to my transition, I think I'm good looking even now, but prior to my transition, I was a very, very attractive girl. And I had a lot of attention from boys. So like 5, maybe more boys on the track team had a crush on me, and I knew about it. And I will never forget. This is so sad now that I'm thinking about it. I'm so sorry to this person. I don't know if he's watching, but I'm so sorry to you because this was really messed up of me. But like a few minutes before my friend asked me if I was gay, this boy had asked me out. He was like, do you want to go out? And I was like, I lied to him. And I was like, I have a boyfriend. I told him I had a boyfriend. And when I eventually said that I was gay, like a few minutes after he asked, it was literally like 20 minutes after he asked me, he was right behind him. he was amongst the group of people, and he was like, wait, what? I thought you just said you had a boyfriend. And I was like, damn it. I was like, I lied. I'm so sorry. I didn't know how to tell you that I was gay and that I'm just not interested in you in that way. It was really messed up. So again, sorry to you. If you're watching, you know who you are. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have lied, but I was trying to protect myself. Anyway, so yeah, like all of the boys on the track team who had a crush on me were like pissed. They weren't like aggressive, but they were like upset, like visibly upset. And like one of them was like, that's just because you ain't never had no real man and shit. Like, you know, y'all know. If you are queer and have experienced anything similar to my coming out story, then you know that this is the kind of response that guys or cis heterosexual men kind of give whenever they find out somebody that they like or like a good looking woman is not interested in men. That's typically their response. That's just because you never had a real man. It's annoying. They're like, well, maybe you just need to be with a man in order to know. And I was like, I remember this very vividly. I was like, well, how do you know you're straight? I was like, you've never been with a man. How do you know you're straight? And they was like, just, I know. I'm attracted to women. I know. And I was like, exactly. You just know. And you've always known ever since you were a kid. You didn't have to be with the same sex or the opposite sex to know what you were attracted to. You just knew what you were attracted to. So, you know, maybe you should try being with the same sex and, you know, like you want me to try being with the opposite to see if I actually like it or not. Maybe you should try being with the same to see if you like it, you know? It's a very annoying response whenever people just assume because you haven't been with anybody of the opposite sex that's the reason why you don't know if you're attracted to them or not. And it's like, no, you just know. Like, I'm not attracted to you. I don't know what you want me to say, bro. I'm sorry. But yeah, so that was my coming out story. It was pretty traumatic at the time. Now I can look back on it and laugh. But I remember after I told the track team, which I expected this, everybody found out. I mean, I was like, the next day, people were texting my phone, was like, you're gay? One of my best friends at the time asked me, like, how come I never tried to hit on her, which was really weird, because I was like, what? Like, we're friends. I don't look at you that way, which is a whole nother story. Listen, that ended up in like a whole love affair type situation. If you want to know that story, comment down below and I'll let you know. Okay, so this has already been a long video, so I'm gonna stop talking right now, and then I'm just gonna show you guys the end result when I'm done. I might do a little time lapse so you guys can see. I don't have that much storage, so we'll see. completely forgot to take a video of the end result, but this is it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you on my next video. Peace.